Welcome back to White Mountains. Today we've got Jack Steffen, and I've interviewed you before, but new today we've got Rick Halling, and you're is it the national representative?
Yes, Fischer's national headquarters are located here in New Hampshire. We're an Austrian company, and the skis, everything are manufactured in Austria, brought to the U.S., and then the U.S. headquarters are in Auburn, New Hampshire, just outside of Manchester.
I didn't know that. My fiance's grandfather is from Austria, and he had a big ski place up in Hunter, New York. Big ski school up there. That's funny. So small world. So welcome onto the show, and you guys have a big demo day going on today for Fischer products, right? So you brought all the Fischer gear in to show us what we're looking at. I don't know. I've done cross-country skiing a couple times. I'm not super familiar. So just go ahead and delve right in and get into the technical stuff for us and let us know what's going on.
Well, our demo day starts at 10 o'clock this morning, and it'll go till around 2 o'clock.
Okay.
And we brought a couple of skis in because there are different types of skis within skiing, different techniques. There's the skating, there's the classic. One of the hot setups right now are twin skin skis, and it comes in 2 different varieties.
Okay.
And Rick has an example of those. So Rick, you want to take it away and kind
Sure. They're used for everything from entry-level recreational skis right up to very high-end elite racing skis.
Oh, wow.
And they're fantastic. The grip and the glide are right up there with a well-waxed, waxable ski now. And they work in all conditions. That's
Awesome.
a mistake. A lot of people think that they're for just one specific snow type, but they're truly universal. They last a really long time. If you don't have a very icy winter, they can last well over 1,000 kilometers. If we have a really icy, rough winter, about 1,000 kilometers. But replacing them is just a real easy thing to do. They have a stick on the back. You just pull them out, replace them. One thing we stress with the twin skins, and a lot of fun new technology coming out, there's the new bindings. Don't screw in, they just slide right on and off the ski. And by being able to slide on and off, that also lets us adjust them for different snow conditions. So the people watching who are cross-country skiers know about grip and glide. If you want your binding to get better grip, if it's icy out, you slide it forward a couple of notches, gets a much better grip. If you feel they're sticking and you want them to glide better, you slide them back a few notches. Camera probably can't pick it up, but there's little markings here, and there's 7 adjustments where you can put them so you really dial it in. So the veteran skiers are putting these on, and they're saying it's making the sport too easy. All those years they spent in learning waxing and how challenging it is, now they're a little frustrated, saying, gee, a newcomer can be just as good as the rest of us. I think people coming to the demo with recreational skis, they'll be really surprised at how easy it is to get really good grip and fast glide. The equipment is just so much easier than it was a few years ago.
Yeah, it looks like, and so the 7 different notches, it reminds me of like a mountain bike where you can put it on like the different, whatever situation you're in, you can change it according to that. So.
It works out really great for us for our demos, because we normally have demos that people can use anyhow. And if we don't have that perfect ski for the person, and by the way, they are sized by the person's weight, not by their height. That's kind of secondary. If we don't have the perfect one, we can go to moving that binding forward or back to adjust to the person's weight and get something that's really going to work extremely well for them.
Nice. Yeah. I love it. And I remember I came in person, the first interview we had, and you guys have quite a setup there, and you guys know a lot about your equipment. So tell us a little bit, maybe moving into the boots here, because a cross-country boot is totally different than an alpine boot.
Oh, right.
And so for, I've done both, but I have done a little less of the cross-country, and I'm really interested in it. So can you tell me a little bit about the boots you brought in here?
Absolutely. This is a typical classic boot. This happens to be a little higher. It's the XC Control. It has a little bit of cuff. At Jackson, we have a couple of hills up there, and this gives you a little bit more support around the ankle for the downhills. It's been really popular. We have this and the Comfort. They have a little bit different fit between the two of them. We recommend trying them both on, and whatever feels the best, that's the way to go. It has a breathable upper. It keeps your foot dry. a dry foot is certainly going to be a lot more comfortable
Yes.
and warmer.
Yes.
This particular boot, a classic boot, is meant to bend right at the ball of the
Okay.
foot. That's
I
very
like that.
That's very important during the classic or diagonal stride technique. Versus, Rick, you want to grab the
I think I've seen one
Skating
similar to
boot?
this before.
Okay, sure. The skating boot is a little bit opposite of what Jack was just now describing, in that skating is more of a lateral movement,
Yes.
pushing sideways. Almost think back when inline skates were really
Yes.
popular.
Yes.
So it's rather rigid here. You
Okay.
don't want it to bend. It's all about stability. And with that lateral movement all being about stability, it really doesn't flex forward the way a classic boot does. It also has the upper cuff, but like Jack was mentioning for the downhills, this is for all the time. Again, by being a lateral movement pushing sideways, you don't want any
With the
that-
ankle.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you buy this, and it's it's the racing boots. When we're doing demos, one of the first questions you always get asked is, "Well, how warm is it?" And it's not going to be as warm as a touring boot. It's that performance fit. It's a little less insulation, but skating, you're going to start sweating even on a cold day
Yeah.
like today.
Yeah.
So usually the warmth is fine.
Yep. And that's the type of cross country I've tried is the skating. So that would be the boot that I would be something like that. Okay.
Right.
They're actually quite nice looking, I have to say. They're attractive. They go with my outfit here.
Well, that's one of the big differences between Nordic and Alpine. And with a day of Alpine skiing, it's such a relief when you take off that boot.
Yes.
While a cross-country boot might be as comfortable as someone's
Yeah,
favorite pair of
that's
slippers.
what it looks like, and then also the thing that I like about cross country is you can go for a half day and not feel guilty about it because the passes are quite affordable,
Sure.
and I feel like you can kind of squeeze it in anywhere.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
And getting back to talking about skating,
Yeah.
I have a skate ski right
Ooh.
here.
Yeah.
And the thing about the skate skis, they're a little bit shorter, but they're a lot stiffer.
Okay.
So for instance, for a classic ski, you have to be able to have it stiff enough that when your weight's evenly distributed, it keeps that kick area off of the snow so you get good glide.
Okay.
Yet it's got to be soft enough that you can collapse it and get good kick.
Okay.
Versus this happens to be the Carbon Light skate ski. This one is all about lightweight and stiffness. You never want to be able to collapse this particular ski. In fact, this is so concerned about lightweight. This is the lightest weight ski Fischer makes. You notice that the tip is probably a little less pronounced than a classic ski would be, and they've got the hole in it. And that's all about swing weight.
Okay.
The first time I saw that, I said, "You got to be kidding me! This is already carbon fiber. How much can you weight? How much weight can you save?" But it does make a big difference because if you think about it, your tibia is way back here. That weight savings is way out there.
Yep.
So it's noticeable.
Okay. Yeah. And I know to come to you when I'm getting all my gear because it's amazing how much of a science it is. It's like, I know everything, not everything, but I have the yoga knowledge, and you guys with the cross country skiing, it's amazing to me how much there is to know.
Well, thanks to Fischer and people like Rick, who we've gone to technical assemblies, and Rick has taught us quite well.
Yeah.
And they give us a lot of information, cheat sheets. That's a big part of our training before we even start the season.
Well, yeah, it seems like you guys are very knowledgeable.
You
about
brought up
this.
an interesting point. Earlier this year, we held an event called Fischer University up at Great Glen.
Oh.
And the dealers from throughout New England and upstate New York were invited. They were put up at the new Glen House Hotel up there, which
Oh,
is
yes.
just
I haven't seen
beautiful,
that yet.
beautiful place. And it was intensive training on how to help customers, everything from sizing, choosing the right model, all the technical details. So, when you're, the folks listening, when you go to a Fischer dealer, the people helping you really do know what they're talking about. You
They
really
do,
can't trust
and
them.
I've experienced it because I went in person for our first interview, and not just you, but the whole staff is very knowledgeable about the Fischer products, but especially you, because I was interviewing you, and you get into these details, and that's kind of like alien language to me at first, but I'm starting to catch on to the importance of some of the aspects of why you need certain skis and certain boots, and So now it's starting to come together for what I would be looking for myself. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the side benefits that we have at Jackson is our staff. Our staff has returned. They've worked for us for a couple of years now. Deanna, Jane, Steve, a lot of people know them in the area, and they're recognizable. They use the product, so it's
So they can speak to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a culture.
Yeah, and you guys have the waxing area in the back there too.
We
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Every Saturday at 10 o'clock, we have a free waxing clinic. If anybody wants to take advantage of that,
Yeah.
stop down and check us out.
And I love these demo days that you guys do because it really gives people an opportunity to try and to learn and then to buy if they want, and it's a really great opportunity. So, and that's today. It starts at 10.
10 o'clock.
And then it runs through.
At least 2 o'clock.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good opportunity.
We don't like to stay too late because Rick has to get out and do a little skiing.
It's a sin to come up to Jackson and not go skiing.
Yeah, and you know, and it seems like this is the right area to learn about the Fischer gear because you guys are really making sure everyone here is informed, well informed. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a very specific store. You know, we're really Fischer-centric.
I know, and you guys do. You have, I mean, the whole wall of skis, and then all the gear to go with it too. Yeah.
Right.
It's fantastic, and the boots. I really like the gear. It's great looking gear, and not to mention that it's obviously great performing as well, which is the really important part.
Yeah, I keep on telling people that stop in at Jackson, you know, the big difference between Nordic and Alpine really is, as Rick said, at the end of the day, you come in with Alpine, you can't wait to get those boots off. With cross-country skiing, you go over to the fire, have a hot chocolate. Oh, yeah, that's right. I still have my boots on.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So it's really a comfortable sport, and you can make it as effortless or as high an effort as you really want.
Yeah, it seems like you can get a really good workout, or you could have a really kind of leisurely day, depending on what your mood is and what you're looking for.
Absolutely. For that person that's a runner or a bicyclist during the summer, wants to maintain that fitness level throughout the year, this is a perfect sport.
This
for
actually
them.
would be perfect for my fiance now that you say that, because he bikes in his free time. He plays tennis, but he bikes all the time. And then in the winter, he brings his bike indoors, but it's stationary and it's boring. You're staring at a wall or a window, you know. So that would be a great opportunity to really, and I feel like you get an opportunity to stretch your legs while you're doing it too, you know.
absolutely.
Whereas biking, sometimes you shorten those muscles, and that would just like open them right up, so you have that flexibility factor going into the season.
Yeah, you'll be able to get an upper body workout because of the pulling action. You know, it's a full body experience.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to mention before we wrap it up? You guys brought so much good
Still
stuff in
making
here. Yeah, we got another
nice
set of
metal edge
Yeah.
skis, too,
All right, let's get into these.
for out-of-track use. One thing, when people put on these metal edge skis, they're surprised at how fast they still glide.
Yeah.
And for people who want a little more stability, they're a little more, we're talking about the casual end, there's no reason at all why you can't take a nice metal edge ski like this and go out on the groomed tracks at Jackson or Great Glen or any other place with groomed trails. So
Yeah.
very versatile. You know, it's always a consideration for that more timid person who's, you know, a little nervous about cross country, a little nervous about falling on the downhills. You've got metal edge skis that provide real good stability and real good bite on an icy downhill.
Okay. And so, and there's a difference between which ski you're going to use for the classic track and the skate, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Just like the boots.
You know, it's a good analogy is swimming. And actually, on the competition level, they have skating, they have classic. And if you skate during the classic part, you're disqualified, just as you'd be disqualified if you're doing the crawl during breaststroke.
Okay.
So it's two different techniques, and like I said, it's very similar to swimming, and they're different techniques.
Yeah, and I'd ice skated growing up, so the skating was, and then like even when you do downhill alpine, at the end when you're trying to get to the ski lift, that's the motion that I learned how to get to the ski lift. So that kind of came naturally, but I'm curious about the track set, what that would be like and what the difference would be. So maybe I'll have to come try that sometime.
Absolutely.
I know where to
Yeah,
go.
we'll go.
You guys got it all at the and you guys are attached to the Jackson Cross Country Skiing with the Gorham Bike and Ski.
Right.
We share a building with them, and you can demo some skis. There's no charge for demoing skis. We ask you to take them out there for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And
That's awesome.
we can go out the back door, send you off, and you can try some skis and see, do I like skating? Do I like classic? Do I like the twin skin? Do I like the scaled skin? Or the scaled skis, and we call those the Crown series.
Okay. And you know, I think there's really no prettier place than Jackson to go
I'd have to
cross country
agree.
skiing and to go get the scenery, and it's such a nice, quaint little space. So yeah.
It's fun to see people walking downtown, skis over their shoulder, going to the Wildcat or wherever they're going
Yeah,
next.
it's a nice little community down there.
It's a good
And the drivers change when they get to Jackson. You know, you
Oh,
might
yeah.
have that very fast driver, and the second they get to Jackson, they slow down because
yeah.
they know folks are just walking
Yeah.
across the street with the skis, and there's just sort of a change when people get into Jackson.
Yeah.
It's a good vibe.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's so great to have you guys. It's such a pleasure to have you join
Well,
us.
thank you.
And
Thank you for
I'm
having
sure I'll
me.
be having you come back before the season is up yet.
Stop out and see us.
I will. I'm going to bring my fiance in tow.
Perfect.
All right. Well, stay tuned. We'll be right back with so much more.